And now hitting the record. So primary point of making sure that we have the opportunity to do this webinar is it gives me the chance to make sure that we are keeping and sharing and updating distributors on information that we're getting back from the suppliers themselves regarding any number of issues as they may relate to either price changes, to inventory issues, to delays on delivery, or honestly, where's the minimal impact, right? And those are all key aspects that for us, we're trying to take the steps forward in making sure that we are informing and sharing whatever information we can to help support you guys as you're out there. And then on top of that, whatever feedback we can individually get from you guys gives us better direction on where to go as far as engaging with these suppliers so that we're meeting and exceeding what information you need. So first thing on the list on our supplier updates is announced or known price changes. So we've got Gemline. Gemline has already announced that they will be doing a price increase going into effect August 30th. Logomats announced a price increase going into effect October 1st. iClick has announced a price increase. Now listen, the price fluctuation is going to continue to happen when it comes to the USBs. It looks as though that is all trending to a more expensive aspect, but specifically this was in relationship to some of their inventory stock-based items like their power banks that they're expecting to see a price increase go into effect in September, mid-September, September 15th. Okay. And then companies that we know are actively in a variable price fluctuation phase is Kuzi and HIT. Now, there was information that we'd ended up receiving. It was actually a follow-up on a separate webinar that we were in when we reached out to some of these supplier partners. What we are seeing is that a lot of the price increase is coming in relationship to suppliers debating when they pull the inventory off of boats. Right now, there's a price that's set on the inventory, and if they accept the price of that inventory, there's going to be a price increase. If they delay when they're taking the inventory off of the boats, they're trying to manage and play these games in relationship to minimizing potential impact. But that ends up creating the situation with like Kuzi and HIT. Both of those companies having out there information that says that there is variable price fluctuations that are actively taking place on their products right now. So double check, double engage in the phone calls in relationship specifically to these companies that we're seeing variable fluctuation happening with, and just keep note of them independently for yourself. I'm going to show you where we are also trying to keep independent information and having that available for the distributor here in a little bit. Suppliers that are in a known delay pattern of products. Logomark has reported variable delays primarily over on their in-printing process. And so double check on the quotes in relationship to it, and orders that are done through Logomark. They haven't given an official delay date in relationship to it as far as how long is the overall process being delayed. They're trying to do it on the quote, but just stay in touch with those guys. It does seem as though their inventory is okay. Seems as though they're running into this issue over on their in-printing process. Again, HIT is heavily affected by delays right now. I don't think I'm surprising anybody. I think there's been a number of posts about this then that have been out there, but there is no question that they are being heavily affected by delays. Kuzi itself is in a variable delay mode, though my understanding, and we are going to have much more information from Kuzi to be sharing here in a very short period of time. But from my understanding, their inventory isn't horrible. It's some of the variability just in specific sub-products, those items that fall under their A and B or top selling product options. Crown and Vitronic, though. Crown and Vitronic have both, from the information we received, suspended rush 24 to 48 hour delivery. They have suspended that. On top of that, there are listing delays anywhere between 7 business days on their general product lines, upwards of 12 days on some of their higher moving products, like say travel mugs and so forth, right? Akron is reporting out delays of 17 days right now. Not an issue necessarily as far as inventory or product availability, but there is the delay process. And then you've got Sanmar. Sanmar has positively reported that they are continuing to bring in a cross section of inventory. It's not coming in as quickly as they wish that it would, which is creating some delays in this process. But they are not minimizing down products in relationship to inventory, and they are reporting that the delays are there, but they haven't gone into the point where they can put multiple day delay notices to it. They are just noticing potential delays. Now, those companies that we've got reporting back that have solid inventory volumes with minimal impact to the lines themselves. HPG, the entire Hub promotional group, is reporting, and I quote, "We have inventory, we have inventory, we have lots of inventory." So from Hub to Debco to Beacon to BCG to Handstands, Best down in Texas, every single one of these guys, I feel like I'm missing somebody, Webb, every single one of those multitudes in the family are reporting solid inventories, minimal delay and effects, no price increases. They are encouraging, and a lot of these guys are, they're encouraging distributors that you should be actively out there engaging in Q4 order opportunities, gifting opportunities at the present time. It makes sense because if you have inventories today, it's very likely that that inventory is going to be gone in a very short period of time. And then the question on whether or not we're getting our inputs or our imports that are coming in, then it becomes a question. I'll talk a little bit more about this in a second, but that for right now, these guys, HPG is reporting exceptionally positive inventory, minimal delays to their line. Same thing goes for 3M. I don't think that's entirely a surprise given the nature of 3M as being more of a manufacturer. But 3M, they haven't been affected necessarily by staffing issues. They haven't been affected by raw material issues, and they are not being affected by price increases or delivery issues right now. 3M is reporting full run and minimal impact. Sticker U is reporting full run, minimal impact. Again, it's another company that operates in a lot of ways as their own manufacturer of these goods. And so that is a benefit that they're running with. Gemline. Yes, Gemline did announce the price increase that's going into effect on August 30th. But outside of that, Gemline is reporting high inventory levels, minimal impacts. They're so confident about it that they actually reinstituted a rush program for products. And I'll show you where you can find out more information about that. Lincoln Line is reporting that they are available for rush availability, minimal impacts. That was actually information that they shared and posted over on the Facebook group page. So that information is over there, but then we're going to put it into additional places. Some suppliers that there are questions out there. I wish I had more of an absolute answer in relationship to it. We're still engaged in conversations, and that's going to be, there were questions I know that were posted out about Snugs. And it seems as though Snugs was having some issues on their customer service side. They are announcing that if you've gotten a specific tag in relationship to the customer service ID that they are following through, even through the delays. They're making sure that they reach out to everybody that they've got tagged, whether that person stays on the line or they follow up at a later point in time. If you ever have a situation where you don't get a response from Snugs, please get the information to us as quick as possible so we can also help utilize our approaches to get responses to information on the Snug side. But outside of that, we haven't gotten an entirely clear communication on what's going on with their inventories. We haven't gotten a clear communication on what's involved with delay structures, price increases, or so forth. And then on top of that, there were questions that we know have been out there in some relationship to PCNA with the family lines. As was mentioned earlier before the recording, ETS Express has acknowledged that there are heavy delays that are happening over there with them. We've acknowledged and seen that there's some delivery issues or delays that are happening over on the Bullet side of it. We're even hearing about some of it in relationship to Polyconcept. Or to Leeds itself, I'm sorry. I haven't necessarily gotten any kind of word either from distributor or over on the supplier side in relationship to any delivery issues that are happening with Trimark. I haven't gotten any negative information or delivery issues in relationship to journal books. So we're going to keep trying to search that one down, and I'll get the information for you guys as soon as I have it available. Again, I'm going to show you guys where all of this information is available, even though we're going to be doing these kind of presentations like this on a bi-weekly basis, moving forward until we start seeing ourselves pull out of all of this. This was something that was shared over in the Facebook group page. We're really happy to share it. We've been kind of sitting on it for a little bit because the supplier themselves wanted to be first to make the announcement, and that is Navitor. Navitor is now fully with all of their lines involved in PromoEQP. It looks as though we're seeing a heightened discount level, especially knowing them as a printed company. We're on a contract pricing. They don't have a true EQP for much of their printed work. They do inside of the specialty product realms that they have, but for labels, folders, and so forth, we're on more of a contract position with those guys. And then from our understanding, the actual contract discount has maybe even gone up. I'll get more information on that here shortly, but we are really excited that Navitor, they made the announcement themselves that they brought the entire line on, because previously we were in relationship with them on a subsection of their offerings, not the full scope of their offerings. And now Navitor is fully engaged and on board. All right. Now, the one thing I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to show you, I'm going to flip this around and go to my screen. Everybody can see this, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to first show you is just an avenue. Now, we've also got a location on this with the over on the update page that we send out every month. But from our login section, this button right here with the announcements, the little bullhorn, and we're going to get a larger icon. We wanted to make sure that we got it out there. Opening up the supplier benefit icon piece right there will open this brand new page. Okay. The main thing I wanted to show you about the brand new page is that for us, this gives us the ability to go through and communicate out what are some of the key benefits that we now have as we expand, and we're starting to get more information about benefits that are being offered by the suppliers. So like, for example, Showdown has now waived all setup charges that went into effect on June 1st, and they still have their on-time delivery guarantee effectively going right now. Right? So this page I'm not gonna lie, it's a work in progress. We're still looking to work and develop it. But for us, this is also beyond just simply being a page to communicate out whatever supplier benefit opportunities are out there with the relationship to the suppliers that we have that are a part of the program. It's on top of that, this is a place to where these announcements that we are capturing and gathering, we're going to be driving these announcements over here. So that way, you hear an update that comes from us, you guys in a week from now, you guys have an opportunity, something comes up and it's in relationship to Gemline. All of these Gemline announcements are available over on this new benefits page. So you can come right in under the announcements. There's a price increase August 30th. And then if we've got documents that come from the supplier in relationship to it, we embed it so that it can be downloaded. It's available for you guys at any point in time. All right. Other thing about Gemline was that they also did just introduce 2 new lines. They've got the Slow Tide collection and then the Cuisinart collection. Gemline, I'm telling you, man, Gemline actually made some pretty nice moves. I was impressed talking to them. They acknowledged that they were going to have to go through the price increase side to it. But some of the aspect of the price increase was that they went out of pocket for a number of these new elements that they tried to make sure they had in place to support the distributor, especially with the expectation of Q4, right? Beyond that, some of the stuff that we are actively moving forward with in this specific period of time is we are strengthening up again in the relationship and partnership with Sage, so that under the suppliers page itself, Sage is additional between us and Sage, trying to make sure that we're staying in contact with the suppliers to get updated information. So under the supplier page of Sage, they are updating information regarding delivery times, challenges, whatever word is coming direct from the supplier on that side. We're doing what we can to help support Sage in providing that information. And then whatever Sage is collecting that maybe we haven't gotten is so we can make sure that we're using basically the power of both of us to get information over to the distributor themselves. All right. On top of that, the Facebook group page. I have begun letting more suppliers into the Facebook group page than I was previously doing. And the reason behind that is because I'm doing my best to try and make sure that we support suppliers being able to directly communicate, especially in these moments with these challenges between supply chain, staffing, and so forth, that they have the ability to communicate directly to you and engage in the content sharing. Here's the one thing I would ask on this, and I'm going to ask every distributor to do it. Like, for example, Lincoln Line posted their update on rush period or rush capabilities over there on the Facebook group page. Look, I'm just going to be honest. Even if it's not Lincoln Line you're entirely interested in doing business with, please engage with that in some way. Like it, whatever, share it, it doesn't matter. What matters is that the more the suppliers see we're engaged with the information that they upload, the better the information is that's going to come directly from them without us necessarily trying to reach out and chase and run them down in order to get it. Does that make sense? It's about just making sure we have a chance to engage with them and motivate the supplier to be more active in engagement with us. And they're measuring that in a lot of ways based off of how we engage with the information they drop on social media. And then the last thing it's as far as announcements are concerned is that, again, tomorrow there is the Sage Show. It's free for anybody who shows up to the Sage Show. And look, we're over in the, we're going to be active over in the, what do they call it? The networking. We're going to be over in their networking section. So don't hesitate, show up, come over, swing over, say hey to us, and whatever information you're learning out there inside of the Sage Show, feel free to bring it back to us so that we can either communicate it again through the Facebook group page or through that page that I had shown you earlier. And then look, here's the final thing I'm going to say on this front. And it's not a surprise, I think, especially if you saw the information that I put out with the monthly update for August. And that is, you guys owe loyalty to one person, and that is your buyer. That is the single point of loyalty you guys owe anyone. You owe it to your buyer. The distributor connection to the buyer saved this industry through 2020. That distributor connection to the buyer supported allowing this industry to pivot to meet the information that you guys captured and the information and the trends that you guys identified. The buyer is your only point of loyalty. My message is to shop around. Stay active shopping. It's an example we talked about with the HPG, Hub Family, Hub Promotional Group out there. They openly have said they have great levels of inventory right now. Get in front of your buyers earlier, especially for Q4 interest, earlier rather than later, so that ultimately we don't lose the opportunity to grab select inventory at the specific suppliers that you want to put that in. But if you've got inventory, you're going to run out of inventory. When you run out of inventory, we're seeing that there's a problem getting it entirely replenished. That is going to require you guys to be shopping actively and in working with those suppliers that are actively bringing product in. Product will be available. Suppliers who value and are strengthening and handling that relationship, they will acknowledge that. They will partner with you to work on that to make sure that we're meeting your buyers' needs. That is my bottom line, though, is that you owe nobody loyalty except for your buyer. And however it is that we can support and however it is we can support and help you in this whole process, we want to be engaged. And we will do whatever it is we need in order to help and support you. But my bottom line is I just want the distributors to stay focused on addressing their buyers' needs and do what's right by your buyers. That right there is my big message. We're, again, going to try and do this on a bi-weekly basis where we provide these updates, do the recordings so that at the end of the day, we can also make sure that we can repost it so that it's out there and available. But before just kind of ending everything, listen, it's going to be a question to you guys. Are there key things that you guys are seeing out there in the market right now that we need to be keeping our eyes on in order to best serve you? Is there anything out there that you guys have any questions, any thoughts on, any ideas about?
I think the only thing I've got is everything has been a rush already. and I've been very impressed that the supplier has come through. I had a drop dead date for a golf outing for a Chamber of Commerce here. And I got everything I needed in time for them to put the little bags together to make their presentation. So I've had a real good success, but again, it was kind of like, this has got to happen. And the suppliers jumped to it. I was very happy.
Well, one of the things for me that I've always been proud of, I feel confident being able to make a statement, you know, where it's from my perspective, I'm a group program, right? We've got distributor partners, we got supplier partners. But we operate differently, and you know, I don't hide the fact we don't monetize PromoEQP based off of distributor work and distributor labor by trying to scrape a kickback from the suppliers and rebate formats, right? And so I feel confident being able to say that your loyalty needs to be focused on your buyers and to shop around, because I feel confident knowing that the supplier partners we've brought into this program were brought into this program because of distributor recommendations, distributor suggestion. It was a distributor referral that brought suppliers to our attention. I feel confident in the partners that we've got from the supplier side for the distributor. And I do believe that there are some of these suppliers out there that are doing some really great things to support and have the back of the distributor. I really honestly believe that. The avenue for us to try and do what we can is to make sure that we're doing the best we can. You know, a rising tide raises all ships. Isn't that the phrase? I don't know. I'm asking Scott because I expected it came out of San Diego somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably boats. I think it's boats.
Yeah,
boats.
Yeah, and so you know, but if we are active in doing what we can to raise the standards of who it is of what it is we expect from a supplier. That should help to raise the standards of all of the suppliers in the industry. That only does better for us, right? Any other questions? Anything else that I need to make sure is on PromoEQP's radar to benefit you guys as best as we can?
Is there a way that you can, the things that you were talking about availability, deep inventory, all those kind of things for the different suppliers, can you put that up there also on the site on a regular basis?
Yeah.
Telling us, because I take a lot of notes.
Yeah, and actually that's a good point. So when we do upload this, it's probably not going to get uploaded for replay until tomorrow. And that's going to completely put a kink in my plug for the Sage Show, given the fact that it's tomorrow. But yeah, when we upload this, I'll upload this with a copy of the rundown that I just provided. Right. So it'll actually be on the Facebook page as a copy to the upload. But then on top of that, we're also going to add the links and everything over to the update page or the benefits page that we were talking about, because that is going to become the active day-to-day updated format. Whereas this, we're going to do more or less a recap, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I'm looking to try and balance that one out. But yeah, we'll make sure that all of the information that was shared gets uploaded with the replay.
Yeah, if the information on the page is updated regularly, then it makes it a lot easier if I'm trying to decide I'm going to work with a supplier on a project. I can instantly fly over to the PromoEQP page and see if there are any current issues going on with that supplier.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure that happens. Perfect. All right, and then one last question just for me was is that the type of information that's going to be valuable, or are there questions that I should be asking that I didn't ask because I'm a moron and sometimes I don't ask all of the questions I'm supposed to?
The information is useful to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not as worried about the price issue because that can always be taken care of with a conversation on the phone. I'm more concerned about deep inventory and status of production cycle as far as timeline for production. That's the thing that affects me the most.
Got it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That would be my issues too. The price is the price. You just deal with that. But if you can't get it, it's free.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, perfect. So yeah, then I will get this uploaded and share out the information to it. Thank you guys for showing up. And then anything, once we get it uploaded, don't hesitate, don't be shy. Whatever gets thrown into the comment section gets thrown into the comment section. We're all in the foxhole right now. And so we're all getting information. I just been deep and genuine, and sometimes I say things in a snarkier kind of manner. I think everybody's heard me do that at this point in time. But what you guys are doing over there on that group page, as far as the engagement, the communication, is sharing ideas, everything along those lines, it's been. I don't know, man. It's every single time you distributors out there end up doing something, it re-justifies why it is we're so interested in doing everything we can to support you guys. So, keep not sucking, be awesome, and we'll do everything we can to not suck as well. All right. So thank you guys again.
About Navitor again.
Yeah, ask that. I'm sorry.
About Navitor. I use them quite a little. Yeah,
Navitor has now launched. We now have access to LabelWorks, LabelWorks, FolderWorks, their entire line, and I've got to go back. I'm going to double check, but it looks as though they have moved their base discount to a 15% base discount, and that is on a variable scale. So that actually. What we now understand is that discount could perpetually increase the more the engagement's happening. Navitor was thrilled with the works that the distributors have done. And and they were really gushy about it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take your compliment. I mean, I didn't sell your product, but I'll take your compliment. So again, this is one of those places where it's like the shout out, the recognition, it's everything that you guys are doing is remarkable, and you are having an impact out there. And Navitor is just the most recent example. I mean, before that, to me, it was Showdown who stood back and said, hey, you know what, for you guys, that was a unique offer to PromoEQP that they haven't extended outside of PromoEQP, the aspect of just waiving the setup charges. And it was because we had distributors that were actively engaged in a process that they appreciated, they respected, and that they saw beneficial. What you guys are doing is remarkable. And it's just whatever I can do to support you. That's where I'm at.
There's a thought that just popped into my head while you were saying that just now. Have you ever thought about the fact that PromoEQP could be a proving ground, a testing ground for suppliers to check out a program that they may want to release to the general industry?
I have always been, look, I think the biggest challenge we sometimes run into is when we get too stayed in our process. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's when we get too rutted. Into a behavior.
I mean, it's normal.
But for me personally, I love the idea of working with suppliers on exploring ideas that are going to work for their business. I think if you're a vibrant business, I've got my uncle's a farmer, and his perspective is if it ain't growing, it's dying. Right. And that is every bit apropos to a business as it is to a farm. It's every bit as apropos to the way suppliers need to be engaging in their processes as it is to, it's any business model that's out there. And so for any suppliers that want to engage with that, I love that. I would welcome that. And I don't think that the distributor, look, I've got lines I won't cross. It becomes a situation where I'm not going to say that, the supplier, I'm going to accept the supplier into the program with this really cool idea or this really new approach. And the only way for a distributor to do it is that you have to do it while wearing fuchsia online directly at their software platform that you then have to, I'm not going to make minimal hoops, minimal aspects. And if the distributor doesn't want to engage, they don't have to engage. But exploring new ideas and new approaches, all about it. I would welcome that.
Yeah, from a supplier standpoint, if I wanted to test market a program, say I wanted to release a new offering into the marketplace, it's a risk management thing. As far as not sure how the marketplace is going to take it before I invest in whatever I have to invest in to bring the program to fruition. If I had a testing ground like a PromoEQP membership testing ground where you could offer that to the supplier and say, if you're not sure this program is going to run for the general industry, we can do a test market. We could do it just with our suppliers because it's a smaller population. They could run it through, work out all the kinks in the system before they release something like that to the market.
Oh, and I'll give you,
just an idea.
I'll give you actually one additional value proposition behind that reason. And that is because we have had actually multiple suppliers at this point in time who they utilize what's going on here inside of PromoEQP from the distributor perspective. They utilize the activity of PromoEQP and the distributors as kind of a market metrics to what's happening in the larger. We're a subsection that has a very positive reflection on the larger, right? And it's in that lends a certain amount of validity to what it was that you were just talking about there. Because if we're reflective of larger markets, then quite honestly, we would be a really good candidate. I'm not, I don't know, maybe it sounds as though I'm begging for it. I think that's a smart idea. I think that's a really smart idea. I can't pull suppliers into doing it all the time. But man, I would have PromoEQP open to exploring those opportunities.
Yeah, it would be the supplier that would drive the process, but at least they were aware of the fact that they could do a test run of a new program they wanted to do. PromoEQP would have open arms with that whole acceptance. Yeah. Okay, just a thought.
All right, so I am going to let the viewing audience go and stop recording right now. Again, thank everybody for their time. Thank you guys for your time showing up. And until we see and talk again,